Okay, welcome to the Lobo Den podcast. Today we have Alex Kampp. Oh, and by the way, I'm back from Florida, guys. Anyways, and I'm tired as fuck. But we have Alex Kampp. She just recorded this the day before. Usually got a few in the bank here, but I got to get one out for you guys. Anyways, Alex is originally from Seattle. He's in Chicago now. He's starting a new podcast with Eric Emerson. I don't know if you guys listened to, well, some of you that know me, I'm a fan of O&A, Legion of Skanks, that type of radio. So basically that type of radio. Those guys, O&A started this, that conversation podcast style. People know Stern, but some people don't know about O&A, but a lot of comics do. Well, we talk about his new show, the radio show he used to have, but they got kicked off of AM radio. They accidentally played a clip of this cop that came in on this hillbilly and accidentally killed his mom. So played a snuff video online, but it was funny. It was a live show, so there was no editing. So there was, what did he say? I don't know. There was some fun stuff up there. I learned about what a cabbage eater is. It's a racial slur for a Russian dude. So, and I know a lot of racial slurs, and I did not know that one. So that was a new one to me. But what I talk about? I think I talk about my dad being a coyote, getting deported, asking me for money. How I grew up with having a black box. I don't know if you guys had that. The cable days, we didn't have cable, but we had black box. Basically stealing cable, and I would watch softcore pornography on that one. So anyways, Alex was hosting this whole weekend for Orny Adams. Have you guys ever seen Comedian? It was Seinfeld, and Orny was the other comic in that documentary. I'm going to put some links on that. But he talks about some fuck-ups he had during some of his shows hosting. And we talk about some of his inspirations like Rogan, Burr. I put out some clips and some specials that we talked about. So, and something else. We talked about drugs. So arrowhead.org again. Great website if you want to start doing drugs, psychedelics. You want to learn about them? Hey, find out what you're putting in your body and then put it in. So anyways, he's going to have so he came on, wants to promote his new podcast coming out in February with Eric Emerson, Space Cadets. So wants to kind of build that O&A Legion of Skanks type of podcast radio here in Chicago. By the way, am I breathing heavily? I just had a bunch of pizza. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. So I just had a bunch of pizza and the most stuffed Oreos. Man, they're addicting. I'm not having that again. But anyways, back to no carbs starting today when you guys are listening. But yeah, check it out. Also, February 15th at the Lincoln Lodge, you got a new show called Laughing Grass. Going to have some comics do 12 minutes, then go in the back, get super stoned, and then do 8 minutes. So, all right, check it out. Lobo Den. Okay, welcome to the Lobo Den podcast. I'm your host. Do I say that? I don't know, but I'm your host. Dude, I haven't recorded one like in 2 weeks or something like that. I just got back from Florida yesterday.
Sure.
Actually, yeah. When you were today we have Alex Kampp. What kind of last name? It's Kampp.
Kampp.
What is it, like German?
It's German.
Okay.
And the fun fact that I never tell girls on the first date, it actually comes from the word Kampf in German.
Oh, like Hitler's book.
Just like Hitler's book.
What is it,
yeah.
Mein Kampf?
Mein Kampf. It means struggle in German, but when we emigrated, they went, get rid of that weird European shit and made it to two P's.
Yeah, like Asians.
And thank God they did that, because I would not want to be walking around as Alex Kampf.
Keep talking. I'm going to start the video. Keep talking.
Yeah, sure.
Talk more about your last name for a second.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I'm happy that they did that, because, I couldn't imagine the kind of issues that I have putting the Kampf on my resume. Or every time I had to get introduced on stage, Kampf would be my introduction. It actually happened once when I was about 6 months into comedy in Seattle. It was open micing, and I was awful at it for a long time. I was a solid year. I was just horrifying people, not even really being funny at all.
So you started in Seattle, right?
Started in Seattle.
How long have you been doing
comedy? 3.5 about.
3.5 years.
2 years over there, then I moved here about a year and a half ago.
Okay. How was the Seattle scene?
If you're into alty stuff, you're trying to be the next Patton Oswalt or something like that, or if you love like Clusterfest, then you can stay there. Move to San Francisco eventually or something. But if you're not, if you're a club comic, it's pretty difficult.
Okay.
The Seattle scene itself is very, even their club comics there are more alty than most club comics in other parts of the country. But what saved me was a great place called Tacoma Comedy Club.
Tacoma.
Yes.
I've heard that. Do you know? I've never done any shows, but you know Triple Run? I hear his name a lot.
Yeah, Dave Tribble. Yeah.
Oh, is that okay?
He still does those. He's kind of been losing his contacts though. It's not as legendary as they used to be. Nowadays, it's actually Pat Wilson is like the new Dave Tribble.
Okay,
Well, so same sort of lady.
Yeah, for people that don't know, Trouble, I guess Trouble Run. He had a bunch of shows in like Northwest. Like if you listen to podcasts, you'll hear people like Joey Diaz and some other guys saying they did some Triple Run rooms. So he had like independent rooms throughout.
Yep.
What is it like? Idaho, Montana, fucking
the whole Northwest there, Oregon, Washington, Montana, Idaho, some Nevada, like North Nevada rooms.
Okay.
But yeah, Diaz and Josh Blue are kind of the two famous alumni of the Triple Runs.
Oh yeah, Blue. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like if you keep your gas low and when they don't give you a hotel, sleep in your car, run late, you might come home with a couple $100 after like a week and a half of road work. Okay. But you're getting a bunch of road work.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. But you're not making any money on it.
We have, I don't know. You ever do a Crane's Butter Room? You ever do Crane's?
Mm-mm.
He has like Mustangs in South Beloit over here. He has a few rooms. I don't know, it's spread out as much as Tribble, but he has a few rooms here in Wisconsin, different places that you can go around and you can make some money on those. But it's more compact. So it's Wisconsin. So Mustangs, South Beloit every Wednesday. During the season, he has a room. He has some other rooms right there I've done for him.
Sure.
So I always think of him, and a lot of people don't think he exists.
There's a few of those enigma figures that you just find out they own like 12 different spots. Yeah. They don't advertise. You have to find them.
And he's never at the show. So like,
really?
I've done some shows with him, but he's usually not even there. And
how'd you get acquainted then?
What did I do? Like Facebook groups. You know what? How I've gotten into a lot of shows is they need a last minute spot. I see it. I message him, and then I fill in. Mm-hmm. So the first 2 or 3 shows I did with Cranes. That's what happened. I saw it on a Facebook group. I messaged him. I was like, I could do it tonight. I filled in, and I did that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So the first few months or maybe a year, I would have fill in.
Mr. Reliable.
Yeah. And then gave me a host, whatever, and then some features. So now I'm part of his like feature host rotation, something like that. So
sweet. You got to keep building those contacts. Man.
Yeah. So I have Triple. Like when I was gone in Florida, like 2 people. The Evanston thing, they messaged me for a show, and somebody else messaged me. But
the Celtic Wild, not those guys, the Evanston Comedy Club they call it. Isn't that John?
John
and Paul run that.
Paul
Miller.
I can't think of Paul's cadence.
He's very
something with Duncan.
Yes.
Duncan.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
He just repeats it like 12 times until everyone gets like uncomfortable and laughs. Isn't it funny though? I like Paul's stuff. It's very different. Anytime someone goes up there and they're different, I appreciate it. Yeah. We all see the same thing.
Yeah, we see.
Who's been on the apps? If you fucking try to be unique.
Tinder jokes. Yeah.
Just
like for example, today Kobe Bryant died, right? And we're friends with a lot of comics on
my Facebook feed right now. Yeah.
Every time, I don't know. I'm sure this happens with regular people, but maybe more with your friends with a bunch of comics.
Yeah.
Like you'll see some of the same jokes or same but somebody you got to people, I don't know, feel obligated to comment on when something happens, but you'll see. So my feed today is going to be first like a few RIP, then some jokes, and then arguments about the joke, and then right now it's just going to be fighting, and then they're going to be, his daughter died. So this is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
And so anytime anything happens, this is what you see. You see the same things on your feed from different comedians.
And as much as I have disdain for that, the doing hacky jokes on the day of Kobe's death, what I actually hate just as much are people that just put like R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. It's like, dude, I know. It's on, like, what are you gaining? Just saying, by the way, I know he died too. Yeah, everyone knows.
I did DM a girl, like,
so dumb.
Right now. She put a picture up, but I DM'd her. I was like, oh, wow, that's so sad. But, I'm trying to fuck her. So,
right. Yeah, like, you have an ulterior motive, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure.
No, I just don't get that. Like, I watched him all the time. Yeah, that's what he's a professional basketball player. We all watched him. There's nothing special. Did you know him? No? Then shut up. Just watch the news.
There's a few I get, like, Rebecca Gibson.
Yeah.
Like, I know Rebecca fucking loves fucking Kobe Bryant, so
sure.
I expected something from her, but it's like, I feel like everybody's like, oh, here's like
You want to get their piece in it.
yeah,
Get their 20 likes.
like to me, I don't know. I was talking to my friend about it on the way up here. I had one death. There was one this year that somebody died. I was like, oh, that kind of hit me, but obviously not that much because I don't remember who it was. And then back when I was younger, when Phil Hartman died, that hit me because I was a news radio fan.
Whoa, and Phil
Simpsons.
Hartman's thing was brutal.
That I
It
was
crazy,
and how it happened.
Crazy bitch wife shooting him and then shooting herself.
Yeah, he
pulled the Steve McNair on his ass.
Yeah, Steve McNair did that.
McNair had a. It was, but if there
Oh, it was
was
a girlfriend, right?
It was a girl. Yeah, it was his side piece.
It was
his
his
side piece came in and killed him, and then laid next to him, and then killed herself. And they found them like
did
laying
Steve McNair
together.
die?
Huh?
He got killed.
Yeah, Steve McNair did. Yeah.
Oh, during that whole
Yeah,
thing.
but see, Hartman was his ex-wife. McNair was the side bitch.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah, wow, yeah.
Intense, man.
And then Chris Benoit did all himself, right? That was he. All right, so people. Steve McNair, he played for the Titans, right? Quarterback for the Titans.
Yeah.
They didn't win
Eric
that Super
McNair.
Bowl. Yeah, they didn't win that Super Bowl. They were
They
like
lost
a
to
yard
Kurt
away
Warner.
from
Yeah.
like Eddie George was a yard away from
Dyson,
yep.
Kevin Dyson, 1 yard away.
1 yard away. Oh yeah, it wasn't Eddie George. He was just a player at the time.
He was. He was the running back.
lead
You're right there.
Yeah. And then so McNair's side piece killed McNair
And then killed herself. Yeah.
Killed herself.
So the same thing as Hartman, where Hartman was
was
his ex-wife
his
that did that. Yeah,
on and off
shot
ex-wife.
him, and then didn't she kill her? She killed herself.
Yeah,
didn't
shot
she?
him, and she was on and off of
Pills.
those pills, not the pain pills, the other pills.
Antidepressants.
Yeah,
and
antidepressants,
mood
things
stabilizers,
like that.
and
she
shit.
was probably bipolar or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. I've met quite a few people on Xanax, and that shit frightens me.
Have you taken Xanax?
Yeah.
How is like I was on a KB and the other podcast was telling me about Xanax. She was at a concert. She was just like kind of like stuck. So I don't know how.
Yeah, dead inside is how I'd put it.
Is it a mental or physical or?
Mostly physical. It's kind of like it really does. It numbs you out big time. But the big thing that you notice is definitely a mood stabilization. Which if you need that, then take it. But I took it and I just felt like I was dead inside and I was anxious because I was dead inside.
Oh, okay.
Like something was wrong, and that made me feel actually more anxious.
Now, were you taking it because for just?
I was just experimenting.
Okay.
It was in college, and like one of my friend's girlfriends had a prescription. I'm like, yeah, give me one. I just took it, and I didn't like that.
No, that happened to me the first time I took Adderall.
I have a prescription for that.
You did? I might look into getting a prescription because I'm told I have ADD, but
Even if you don't, just say yes. All they give you is a questionnaire. There's no like medical. They don't like prick your arm and go, you have ADD. They just go answer a questionnaire, answer yes, and then they'll give you.
What should
the
I
pills.
ask him for? Because this is like I told somebody, I think on the last podcast, I was like, I was afraid to ask the doctor.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid the doctor would be like, wait, are you just trying to sell drugs? Or I don't know. I just think the doctor is onto me, but
The keywords.
I legit want to look into it.
Yeah, keywords. I'd say if you're trying to get in there, just say I've always had trouble focusing my whole life. And I've been able to kind of deal with it, but now that I have all these adult responsibilities, it's becoming a problem in my life, and I have trouble accomplishing things.
Okay.
That kind of
Always have
termage.
focus.
Because they'll wonder why you're an adult, why you want it now. So that's
Okay.
the story you tell them.
Like,
is
yeah, as a kid, I wasn't fucking
it
doing
was
anything.
homework, whatever. It's homework, but now I've got these adult responsibilities, and now it's become a problem.
Okay.
And say that, and it's hard for a doctor to refute that because it's they can't tell you're even if you're. I was not lying when I said that, but even if you are lying, he's going to call you on your bluff. It's not. He doesn't know you.
Yeah. I was like, come on. Now, what is it? What is that? That's like an 8-hour thing, right? That's the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I could take it in the morning for work, and then hopefully it wears off by the time.
About 5 o'clock or so. I'll take it about once a week for my day job.
How do you feel after your day job? Do you do it before? I don't want to do it before sets, though, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay, perfect. I just need it to be maybe as soon as I get up. I need to wear off by the time I'm getting a mic.
You wake up, you have like a piece of food, get up by 8 o'clock in the morning, it'll run out by 5.
Wait, I have to eat with it, right? Something?
You do. Do not just take that cold turkey, you'll get sick.
I don't know.
And here's what sucks too at Adderall is you have to force yourself to eat and drink because you'll lose your appetite. But if you don't eat all day, like you don't feel like you will, the second that it wears off,
you're
you'll
starving.
feel starving and sick, and you'll just want to sleep. You feel terrible. You have to like take care of yourself, even though your body doesn't want you to take care of yourself.
You know what? I don't like where this is going. I'm
Right,
just
sounds sketchy, doesn't it?
I'm just gonna stick with cocaine, which I use,
Right.
which I've been using like I took cocaine earlier today.
Medicinally?
Yeah, basically I use
Yeah.
it medicinally. Like today when I got up, I had some coffee and there's some work. I've been in Florida for fucking a week and a few days for work, and then there's like some stuff I needed to do. So then I was like, all right, I did a few bumps and I got on my computer and it was like, well, whatever I had to do, and I was on there for a little bit, but I needed to. I had to stop. I could only do those two because it's like by the time
At least in the last couple hours. So then, bam, you're done with it. You have your intense work mode, and then you're done. Adderall's 8 hours, Coke's a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I can
That's
do
good.
that, but I can't. Yeah, that's 8 hours. Like I was saying, the first time I took it, like with your Xanax, I took it. Somebody gave me Adderall, or maybe it was Ritalin back in the day. This is years ago.
Yeah, or Vyvanse is another popular one.
Oh, Vyvanse. I never heard of that one. So I took it, and I remember when I took it, I took a good dosage. I remember what I felt like my personality was like inside and it was locked up and I was trying to come out, like, you know.
Yep.
And then on the outside I was like, hello, I am Giovanni. Like super, and then
like who's this freak talking out my mouth?
And then on the inside I was like, come on, let's fucking be yourself. And nope, I couldn't. So I couldn't. But Alex came on. Okay, so you're starting. One of the reasons you messaged me, I was in Florida, and I would message you like 3 days later, dude.
Yeah.
I was I was at. I don't know if you know. I work in. Are you in sales?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in sales, and I work at a golf company. We're at the PGA Trade Show. So from Sunday to Friday, it was
fun.
like work. Yeah, long days. And
Yeah.
I'd go out to. Yeah, so it was like by the time I would get back, I was exhausted.
It's nice in Florida now, isn't it? Though.
I think so. I don't know. I was at the trade show all day.
Were you not outside? There wasn't any outdoor shit.
No. Oh well. The one day we were outside it's Tuesday. It's called Demo Days. It's at this golf course called Orange County National that has the biggest range in the world, or at least in the U.S. It's this big circle. It's a circle range, so it's complete circle, and it's I forgot 1 or 2 miles or a few miles in radius. And then we were out there with some mats and some of our stuff and furniture. But that day was about 40 or 50 degrees regular, plus like an 18-mile-an-hour wind. So it was freezing. You know?
Okay, so now
the day we're outside, I was
shit.
Yeah, I was in layers, I was in gloves, and then the last day that finally got nice in the 70s was Friday. But Friday was the shortest day of the show. We were done at 3, but basically, I worked that day from 8:30 to 9:30 almost, because after you're done, we had to break down. So that's a 30-40. That's like a 30 by 40 booth.
Yeah.
With a bunch of equipment, furniture, chair, that took and we had to wait for the crate, so that took hours. So Friday's always like a 17-hour day. Yeah. So then,
do you work in freaking sales or logistics? Like, what are you doing?
Well, we got to break down our
Just
booth.
whatever it takes.
I mean? Yeah, we got to break down our booth versus it's like for trade. It's like astronomical pricing if you hire somebody else. To do all that stuff. So it's like
offsite.
So and I ate like shit all week because it's like long days and all the dinners are paid for. So we just part of it is we just go have like nice dinners.
Yeah.
And fucking.
I used to work in software before my current job, and we'd be in San Francisco like every other month. Same thing.
Yeah, but see, software, you don't have like 2 500-pound dispensers and golf ball pickers and stuff like that.
Nope. All we need is just like a monitor.
Yeah.
And that's the booth.
Yeah, exactly. No, we have all our stuff there, dude. I'll show you. But you're starting, who you starting? I forgot, man. Was it Eric Emerson?
Yeah, Eric Emerson.
Are you restarting a podcast? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so what happened was we were on 1680 AM in Chicago on Q4 as campfire radio when I first started it out. And I started it out with a vision of trying to create like the modern version of Opie and Anthony.
Okay.
You ever know Opie and Anthony, that old show?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
See, all comics do. People outside of comedy don't really. No. They all know Howard, but they don't know who was number 2 while Howard was number 1. But they both got kicked off and they're done. But I think there's just still a space for it because at the end of the day, man, Opie and Anthony was like the thing that started podcasting.
Yep.
Joe Rogan says like that was the thing that inspired him to do his. It was the first show that broke the radio format of like, hey, it's 11:11 and we got a funny man comedian. Hey, Louis C.K. Tell us a joke. And they took out all the structure and it was just dudes talking.
Yeah.
Right? But then trying to basically it's a stance of not being politically correct and being irreverent without being in your face about it, like the Ben Shapiro's or like the freaking...
Or like a Shock Jock style, like you're purposely being...
Yeah.
Well, sometimes a little bit.
And that's the thing, we'll do that, but it's just like, we're not trying to make a stance. We're not making a political stance when we joke at shit. We're literally just being like, what's the funniest thing we can say right now? And I guess that in itself is a stance.
Yeah.
Where we're not going to censor ourselves whatsoever.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be like, yeah, we're fighting back against censorship, because that's lame too.
Yeah, that's like...
you know? But we were on 1680 AM until we got booted off for doing one thing, which is fine. We kind of expected.
Can you say what you did, or?
Yeah, we didn't vet a clip very well. Near the end of one of our episodes, Eric had this clip, and it was a cop video, like a cop body cam video. And the first 3 minutes that he watched was funny. This cop, knocks on this door, and this like stupid hillbilly dude is like talking with him. He says some funny stuff. It's an 11-minute video. What we didn't know was about minute 6, it turns into a very violent home invasion video. The cop like runs into the guy's house without his permission. He's like, "Get out of my house!" Like, "No, I'm the police." The guy's mother tries to like defend the guy, and the cop shoots his mom, and she dies. And this is all on the fucking radio, and we're like, "Oh Jesus!" Like, we try to make it funny, like, "Oh my God, Eric, what the hell?" And we like close it down, but a little too late.
And then
we basically played a snuff film on the air. So after that moment, we decided we want to kind of take a different format anyway, where right now when we're still figuring it out, we're on the edge, but we kind of went over the edge right there.
Yeah.
Which means now for the next year or so, now that we're on the People of Comedy Network with James Webb's group, just doing podcasting, we're going to do 3 episodes a week of pure audio, so we can edit that. So if we do something that's going to get us in serious trouble, we can cut that out.
Okay.
But do 1 live video proper a month. Yeah. One a month. Three pre-recorded audios, and then 1 live video and audio a month. And kind of slowly, we'll get back to live. We're trying to, we're figuring out what the line is.
Yeah. Because I don't think I could do live. I mean, I haven't had to edit too much stuff. Maybe 7 things overall, whatever episodes I had. And it's basically somebody is like, "Hey, can you cut this out?" And it's like 1 or 2 things, but I think that's it, really. You know what I mean? Like,
we want to get back to live, man, because some of the best moments we had on Campfire with me and Eric was when it was live, because we would say something awful. One of our guests would be like, "Oh, we can cut that out, right?" And we go, No,
we're live.
And then they're
love it.
frightened.
I love it.
Well, we would, but they'd be like, "Oh," and then us fighting them and their apprehension made some really funny moments.
Dude,
like actually, Rebecca was an example, and Chris Traney was an example. They didn't really know what the show is till they
Chris
got
Traney,
on.
right? And Rebecca.
Yeah,
Okay.
Those are two of our best episodes, and I'll be posting when Space Cadets is the new name of the show. When we launch it in February, I'll be posting like the best of Campfire to kind of like show you what we can do. And there are some freaking clips on there of like Tranny and Rebecca getting very nervous. Like, are we going to be okay? It's like, I don't know.
Were they on the same episode or no?
No, it's 2 different ones. Our 2 best episodes is one.
What happened with Tranny?
With Tranny, it was just like, so Eric had invited Tranny to come on the show because they had done the Comedy Bar in Dubuque together.
Oh, okay.
He was driving back, and Eric's like, "Yeah, I'm on this new show. It's just like it's a show we just talk about current events and politics." So Chris expected to walk in on like the Rachel Maddow hour and be like smart. Next thing you know, we're talking about
He's on Legion of Skanks.
Yeah, exactly.
In Chicago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for example, one of the he started getting really nervous when we talked about one of the hot stories at the time was that black quadruple amputee who got beat up by the police in Arizona. Yeah, dude.
So he had no arms,
no legs, and the cop still was like brutal with him, which is stupid.
This one, dude.
Yeah, and we made fun of like the cop for like a half an hour.
That's
like, how
pretty funny,
stupid
dude.
that is. That like how. If the police force has trouble putting that guy in like bars, or I guess you can't put handcuffs on, whatever.
Like,
you put him in a duffel bag or something.
What was the excuse? Like, "Oh man, you should have seen this dude's headbutt," or what the fuck?
Yeah, like what did he even do? We did all of that, and Chris was like, "Where am I?" Because we were saying horrendous shit about the police, because the cop was being a dick.
Yeah, dude. So do you remember how he pulled him over, or was this at his house?
Just in his apartment. Apparently, what had happened was the kid. It's a kind of a sad story. A 15-year-old kid, his parents,
amputee.
Yeah, his parents had estranged him, and he was apparently causing some ruckus outside of his apartment complex. Like somehow he knocked over a couple garbage cans, maybe with his wheelchair or something like that.
Oh yeah,
and then someone called them.
Yeah, he would have a wheelchair. I'm thinking he's rolling around the neighborhood. I'm a fucking idiot.
No.
Oh my god! All right.
Like those baby bouncy like seats. He just rolls around in that.
Yeah, okay.
No, he was in his like wheelchair and he knocked that over. But then he went back to his apartment. But then like they went to his apartment and like beat. It's horrendous, dude. And there's like a video of it, and we just made fun of it for like a half an hour. And just as funny, the jokes is freaking Chris just being like, I like doing comedy. Please don't cancel me.
I work with immigrants.
Yeah.
I speak Spanish. Oh.
Near the end, we played some American flag music, and we're like, "All right, Chris, ready for your official apology to the comedy community?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Hi, as Chris Traney, regular host of the. By the way, I'll be at the Comedy Bar on Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know if I can anymore."
I did a show out in Iowa with Chris. I was the last in Des Moines. I was the last minute fill-in. So it was Chris, Oscar, Jason. Jason Escovedo.
I've heard of him. I haven't met him yet.
So it's Chris, Oscar. Some dude booked some room in Des Moines, right?
Yeah.
And then Oscar was in Mexico. He was like, "Look, man, he called me. Oh, he hit me, messaged me on a Friday. He's like, "Hey, I'm at work." He's like, "Hey, can you fill in for me tomorrow? I got a host and I have a contract." And I was like, "Oh, that's fine." He's like, "It's in Des Moines." And I was like, fuck it, I don't fucking work, right?
How far is that from here?
I think it's 5 hours. 5 hours there in bed.
That ain't terrible.
I was like, I think it's 5 hours. Yeah,
Ain't great, but ain't terrible.
yeah, and it was like, okay, I'll just get up, I'll leave. But the thing at the time, I was drinking more, right? I still sort of drink, but not like then. So I was like, well, I just can't go drink tonight, basically, because I gotta be. I think actually I still drink, anyways, because I think I went to some chick's house. But
Sure.
anyway, yeah, I went over there. It was a last minute fill-in, so I was like, fuck it, I'll go. And I drove over there. We had a room right at this motel. I think Jason was making a fit. Jason's a little bit of a diva.
Yeah.
So he's making a fit about the room. Like, we were supposed to be at a hotel. This is a motel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Is
like,
Jason making legit money yet? Is that why he's a diva?
I don't know. I think he's always been a little bit like that.
Okay.
That's just kind of how he is.
Yeah.
So we have this. So we find the motel. He gives us a room or whatever.
Yeah.
We do the show. I think we got paid like $200. It was free room. We got paid $200. I hosted. That's I usually. I mean, I bomb all the time when I'm doing a mic. I'm trying something out, but it's very rare for me to have bombed at an actual show.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first bombs I've had. Maybe my first. I don't know. I usually somewhat prepared, so it's kind of rare. But I do bomb. I hope I don't sound like fucking Sinbad right now and say I never bomb. But anyways, it's rare at a show. It's rare for me to bomb.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of bombed right here at the LO Theater at a show, but I was like on this weird Molly meth. Anyway, it's a whole different thing. It was a 3 p.m. show, so we're
What was it, like a bath salts or what?
no, because you know how Molly was when it first came out, it was really popular.
Yeah.
A few years ago, when it got hot, and you would get Molly, and then it got popular, was a higher supply, and all of a sudden it started getting cut with amphetamine. So a lot of Molly you were getting was
started
actually
becoming ecstasy instead.
it was basically just meth.
Yeah.
Basically, I was. If you ever fuck with Erowid.com, EROWID.
No.
It's a resource. If you want to do drugs, they have all the information on drugs, trips. They test stuff out, so it's a good resource.
Interesting.
If you want to do psychedelics or anything like that. Good
Usually I
place to
just fucking
research.
take it and hope for the best.
No.
Give that a shot.
Like I've done a bunch of drugs, but I always like unless I'm drinking, then I'll take whatever. So I'm already drunk. It's like, what do you got? Whatever. But
Yeah.
we did we do the show. We get 200. I blew all my money. So because we were there, and then there was this is where I fucked up. This is how I bombed. The people didn't speak English, really, right? Because it was supposed to be a Spanglish show, like English, Spanglish, and I go up there and I start and I'm.
Can you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
You can, okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Spanish, so I figured it'd be something like a Mikey O show type of thing.
Yeah.
Like a mixed audience, but everybody kind of speaks English. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in some
But
references.
a little
Spanish.
spice is gonna get them going.
Yeah, no, but they were straight like brazers, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that, and I did some crowd work, a little bit in Spanish, got some stuff, and I started doing material, and I was like, nobody was laughing, and I was like, I didn't get it, except for these 2 lesbians to my left, right? They were the only 2 ones. But they were basically Americanized, and I didn't. And towards the end, I kind of figured out. I was like, the way they were looking, I was like, I don't think they speak Spanish. So I took the bullet, and I went up to Chris and Jason. I was like, look, man, pull out as much of your Spanish material as you can. I fucked up. I didn't. So I took the brunt, and then I think Chris came in with his Spanish bit immediately, right?
Yeah.
And then Jason they did a lot of Spanish and got him back. And we had a decent show, but then I blew all my money because I met this chick. I forgot her. It's something. She's this white chick with like 3 Mexican kids from Iowa, but she had her knuckles all tattooed.
Yeah,
like
with
the
some
Blues
phrase.
Brothers. Yeah. I forgot what the phrase was.
Okay.
It's pain, love, or something like that, dude.
Well, that's good that you can still bomb at a show and still get a girl somehow, right?
No, I tried to get her, but
Tried
then
to.
some other dudes show up, some other Mexican dudes with some black
the baby's
yes,
dad or something?
and then because I bought them drinks and that failed, and I ended up getting a bottle because I had just gotten them, and then I met some dude from some Mexican dude from my dad's town.
So you made no money on this show then?
No, I made no money. I did.
Yeah.
I did get somebody laid though. There was
Sure.
there was a chick. I won't say who, but I got somebody laid. There was a chick that I started dancing with, and I warmed her up for somebody, and they got laid at least. But
Nice.
Fucking.
Nice, you cuck. Good work.
Yeah. What happened with Rebecca?
Well, same thing as I felt. We still feel a little bit bad about Rebecca because she got actually a little bit legit uncomfortable because her breaking point was when we did the Papa John's thing. Remember the Papa John's guy?
So was this when he said the N word, or was when he was sweating?
Well, it was the sweating thing. But you have to bring up why this is all happening because the sweating interview is he's now saying that the truth is going to come to light. So we had to backtrack and say what his crime was originally. Well, earlier in the show, we were looking at a list of like all the racial slurs in America, and we were like, let's try to find some like white people racial slurs. And what we found was Cabbage Eater, and it was an old term for Russian
I've heard
people.
that one.
Yeah, but of course not, 'cause it's stupid. No one's calling people Cabbage Eater anymore.
No, and I know a lot of racial slurs. Okay.
Huh?
And I know a lot of racial
Well,
slurs.
there's a little one for you, Cabbage Eater. If your guy pissing you off at a show Russian, just call him a Cabbage Eater.
Okay.
You know, but we did a little game. We're like, hey, okay, before we go into the clip, I want us to go around the table and guess what Papa John said on the conference call, but replace that word with Cabbage Eater.
Okay.
And then Alex Olinger goes, well, you know Alex Olinger?
Yeah, I know Alex.
Yeah, he's got that deep, like, you know, North Carolina kind of drawl going. He's very slow paced. Fucking love his cadence. But he's like, what I think he said is, you know, I love pizza and I pay for it with my own money. Unlike these money-grabbing, government-spending cabbage eaters. and there's this, you know, it's this perfect radio moment where, like, you hear just silence except for me and Eric just in the bench. You're like, oh, my God. Like that slow buildup of, like, what the... And then you see, in the video, you see Rebecca sliding underneath her chair, like, into the table.
Yeah.
We had this bell for, like, the triggered bell, and she's, like, pressing the triggered bell.
We're like, I like that, the triggered bell.
The triggered bell. She's like, we're like, sorry. She's like, yeah, it's messed up. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But just moments like that. And she was great on the show, but I don't think she'd want to come back because it's not her cup of tea.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe, yeah.
Rebecca's humor. You are correct. It's kind of like Opie and Anthony / Legion of Skanks, what we're trying to do. So you'll find some people that are fits, and some, I said I'd happily have her back, but I don't know if she'd want to come back because she was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I played Legion for like some episode. The one with, I'm glad that, Artie's back, right?
Yeah.
So I was playing the Artie one to my friend, and he's, you know, to him, like, everything that's going on, everybody's getting canceled. And I played it. He's like, how is this even, like, how are they not getting, I was like, it's like, that's what they are. You know what I mean? I think when you kind of establish, like, okay, this is me, or this is what we do, like, I feel like people leave you kind of alone, at least somewhat. You know what I mean?
They don't apologize, and they have what Bill Burr used to have. I remember Bill would talk about this all the time on the night shows. Okay. Back before he had F is for Family and this, like, things they could take. He was just a very successful road comic. Yeah. He's like, they can't take anything away from me.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's where Big J and Lewis and Dave are at. You know, outside of Legion of Skanks, they don't really have anything to be taken away. You know, Big J's got the bonfire, but, like, you know, Comedy Central Radio is not going to cancel them. Yeah. They have nothing, no projects they're working on right now that are backed by people that would cancel them. So they can do whatever the hell they want because all their money comes off of a self-funding platform that is Legion of Skanks. Who's going to cancel Legion of Skanks? It's funded by the fans that want to hear that shit.
Yeah, it's their own thing. The only thing is...
Now, if Luis J. Gomez got an NBC pilot, which he never will, then there might be a problem. Yeah, but that's never going to happen. So they're not even being talked to by those people.
Do you know what happened with Luis and Nicole Arbor? Do you know what happened with that?
No, I'm sure he said some awful shit and she hates him. Now it's kind of Luis's thing.
Okay, and then she kind of edited it. Yeah, a little bit. I didn't see. She's a Canadian online comic. She does stand up, right? She does, like, cut up videos.
I have no idea who this person is, but
you don't know who Nicole, but you know how she looks. She's pretty hot, dude. Yeah, I'll give her that. She's very attractive. Yeah, she did a video with him saying that he was, I don't know, not Me Too or something like that. But did you see Louis when he came into town?
Yeah, I did.
The only thing I regret is not going. I should have. I don't think it worked out logistically, but I wish I would have gone to a second show. Like, what show did you? I went to the Saturday. I think the first show Saturday or the second show. I think first show Saturday.
We might have gone to the same show. I think I was first show Saturday as well. Yeah. Why? What happened the second show?
I just wanted to see it again, man. Like, I didn't. I just wanted to take it in, or just take it in. Really, like, I don't know. Because Louis, I don't know who. Louis was one of the ones I've wanted to see. Like, a few years ago, I remember Louis went to Milwaukee, and somebody I was working with like, oh, Louis C.K. is coming to town. Why don't you get tickets? I was like, I'm not going to see him. I don't know. I was like, I'll just see him next time he comes around. Yeah. Right? And then, like, a year or two later, I would look out, and then everything happened with the jerking off or whatever. Yeah. And then I was like, fuck, man. Like, I hope, like, one of the people I always wanted to see was Patrice, right? Patrice O'Neal. And that's the one, I knocked most of people. I have a bucket list. I don't know if you have a live bucket list of people. Like, I want to see Artie now. Artie Lang. I don't know if you have.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have a list. I just know people
I'd like
to see.
When you were.
Oh,
were you always into comedy, or when did you get? Okay,
I got into comedy about early high school. I started getting into it when and I didn't start doing comedy until I was 24, but I got interested in it. I'd work at this golf course as a maintenance boy, Cleaning shit,
Where
fixing
at?
shit. Sahali golf course in
That's one of my
Sammamish,
customers.
Washington.
Yeah,
You heard of Sahali?
Mike Montgomery's the head pro, or used to be the head pro. That's one of my
Nice.
customers. We had a fucking years ago. We had an issue with the. Did you work at the range at all?
No, see, I worked at the fancy housing development around the golf course.
no.
I was more like the housing development employee than I was a golf course employee.
Oh, okay. So we make like range equipment. So
Yeah.
the ball washer that nobody sees. There's a big ball washer in the back where they, drop all the balls and they clean like, fucking like 20,000 balls.
Yeah, like a ball washing machine.
Yeah, big ball washing machine.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have in the bag. We had issues with their ball washing machine. We sent them like four. For some reason, I know that name because we like end up getting four.
Kept sending back to them.
Back and forth from Chicago to Washington.
And
It
the
was
balls
just-
kept coming out dirty and getting mad at you.
I don't know, like it wasn't working. I don't know what the fuck it was, but yeah, that name is fucking stuck in my head. So how
Yeah.
Mike Montgomery. Anyways, all right. So
Yeah, I
you
worked there, and basically, I would, it's a lot of long days with your iPod, and I'd listen to two things: Adam Carolla, his show, and then I'd listen to all the George Carlin albums. Like I listened to "You're All Diseased" at least 100 times, just like that CD on repeat. Because remember, I'm old. I'm 28, so I was old enough where that was right before the iPod. So whatever CDs you had, you just had to kind of re-listen to. So once the iPod hit, it was Adam Carolla. Before that, I was like, I had this Walkman with freaking "You're All Diseased" just on repeat. Whatever George Carlin was at the library, I just check out those library CDs and listen to them.
So you were you listening to Carolla when he was already on digital stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is me. I used to listen.
Loveline?
I grew up listening to Loveline.
Yeah.
So Sunday through whatever, I would listen to Loveline with him and Dr. Drew. Like
Yep.
I don't know if you ever listened to Loveline, but I was.
I listen to the old clips nowadays.
Yeah, they'd always have somebody that they go to the caller and there'd be somebody that fell asleep. That happened to me once. I got on a hold and I got on the line.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know what the fuck I was going to talk about. I just wanted to be on the air, but I fell asleep. So
And they cut to you?
yeah,
One of the sleepers?
Yeah, I think they cut to me. I was one of the sleepers, but
Yeah.
I listened to Carolla, but then he left Loveline or whatever, so I didn't
Yeah.
have anything. And then the digital started happening. I remember when he was doing radio out in L.A. When he covered, people don't know, Adam Carolla covered Howard Stern's slot in the L.A.
Yeah,
area.
K-Rock.
Yeah, with but he was with Donnie Bonaducci, which he hated, and he was trying to get him.
Everyone hates Donnie Bonaducci.
And he's like, look, he would tell the program manager, like, I don't want to work with him, but it's whatever. It was radio.
Yeah.
So then I would listen to, and then the podcast came out. So he was on that, he would just do little clips, right?
Yeah.
And then the podcast came out, and I was like, great, I could finally.
Listen
was the
to
first,
long form.
Yeah, I could finally
Yeah.
listen to Carolla again. So that's what I got into podcasts, because Carolla, I used to listen to Carolla, and now he's on a podcast. I was like, oh, okay, so I figured out how to do it. So that was, I think that was the first.
Early inspiration.
Yeah, that was the first one, and I stopped listening to him for like a few years.
He's fallen off. I haven't listened to him in a while because he stopped trying to be funny, and now he tries to be like a poor man's Dennis Miller. He thinks he's some political pundit that he knows how like the world works. He's a bitter old man. He's a bitter old rich man now that like blames the poor.
But I can't, man. He's so good at fucking on the cuff, like it just on his
And
rants.
he's a lot like actually Anthony Cumia of Opie and Anthony, where he didn't make it into show business until he was like his mid 30s.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was just a freaking labor guy. He was
labor
just-
guy.
Yeah, he was a carpenter. He just cut boards and hang boards. He was a working man for a long time. So he's not a lot of these spoiled shitheads in entertainment. Went to is it TIFF at NYU? TIFF, this film school there.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, NYU's films. They go to USC or NYU. They've got millionaire families, and it's all fucking easy. And then they think they can write a decent screenplay, and it all comes out to the same superhero crap. I like people that lived a little bit of goddamn life before they got it, because one, provides humility, and two, it provides like an actual fucking story that we want to hear. Not some unrelatable fucking trust fund baby pretending like they can speak for other people.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I feel like there's a good amount of comics in Chicago where I feel like I'm like, where are they getting their money? Like
There's a few hidden trust fund babies here and there.
Yeah,
You start asking like, wait, so who pays for that condo?
Because it's like
it's a loan with no interest. It's not a loan, then, buddy. That's just your mom gave you that.
Because it's like if like on my case, for example, I don't pay like. So my dad. Well, my dad got deported. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So he'll hit me up on Facebook every few. Like right now, he hit me up, but right now I make him wait. Well, I think I already talked about this, but basically, he hit me up on Facebook. I ignore him. He hits me up again. Then I'm like, all right, wait, commission check. I'll send you some money. So then today I message him like, hey, message me next Friday, remind me, and then I'll send him some money because he got deported. So he's a Mexican.
So you're paying your dad money. That's the opposite.
It's like reverse
then.
fucking.
Yeah, you're
not
feeding
child
your dad.
support. Yeah, my dad and my mom, and I help my mom owes me $500 right now.
Jesus, man.
But that's because she owed, I think, my aunt money or something.
Yeah.
But she's like, don't say anything. So my aunt's son does. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I was like, whatever. But I don't have a problem sending her money because she's always she washes my clothes. I pick up, I go. She cooks and everything like that. And she's worked, so she works. So I don't bother. My dad, it's more like fuck. Like what are you doing out there? And
where's that money going, man?
And it's like annoying, but I'll send him money. But I don't know what he's like. My dad's always been like a wild. He's always like he used to work
straggler.
Yeah, he used to work right when we were younger. And then he stopped working and he got involved. I think he was a coyote for a year. So he was bringing people. Like I remember.
Yeah.
We had people in our we had people in our basement for like a day or two, and I was just like,
how old were you? And there's kids in the or people in the basement
between like 12 and 15
nice.
Or something like that. Like there's a bit I'm working on now where I talk about like stuff like that, like stuff that I thought was normal growing up. Like my first car was a Mitsubishi Eclipse, and my dad wanted a poker game. They were downstairs playing poker for 2 days, right? And after like the second day he comes up, he's like, oh, here you got a Mitsubishi Eclipse. And that was my first car that he won in a poker game, right?
Yeah.
And then I found out later he was a cheater too. Yeah. Because one time he was
poker cheater.
Yeah, I was watching him. He was working on his cards. Basically, he had a heat gun and he was repacking some cards in the little plastic sleeve. So he was marking cards. So he was a poker cheater too.
Hey man, fucking hustle away. I don't hate on it.
Yeah. But there was a while he was a coyote. He would go back and forth to Mexico, and then when he went last time, it was basically a gun charge. And I think there was more involved because he used to work at the country club I work at, and I was talking to the pro the other day. He's like, yeah, I remember when they ransacked that one house, like the feds came in, or the cops, and they ransacked one of the houses at the golf course. And he was telling me, I'm not sure exactly what happened.
See, this is what perspective is. I'm bitching about I don't have a trust fund, and you have the opposite. Where you're actually giving money to your family.
But I don't give him that much.
Yeah.
If
still,
it hits me up
it's a bill to pay. Your parents are a bill to pay in a way.
Yeah, they are. Like, I feel like I'm a parent now that I'm older. Like, and then there's my other sister who hasn't worked since July.
Do you give her money?
No. I used to, but now, no. Like, I used to, but she's not getting anything until she gets a job. Like, now it's me and my mom. Like, my mom called me yesterday. She's like, don't give your sister any money. If she wants money for her daughter, don't give her any money either. And I was like, God, like even if it's for medicine, she has to get a job. She hasn't worked since there's a balance between enabling and you know what I mean. And
there is a balance, and I experienced that firsthand. I was out of work for about a little over 6 months, and I just took some unemployment from the state, unemployment insurance. Yeah. And I will admit, if I didn't take that money, I probably would have gotten a job a little quicker. There'd be multiple days where I would just wake and bake. I'm like, I could do some resumes. Fuck it, tomorrow. Because there was not a pressing money need. So eventually I was putting out resumes, but I probably would have put out twice as many resumes if I didn't have that like $800 every couple of weeks I'd be getting. Yeah. Because I've never. You need it though. It is right. You need it because if not, I want to go out and be hungry because I'm out of work for too long. But there is definitely a factor to that of being enabled to be a piece of shit. Yeah. I did feel that.
And she can't, like, for example, with her, she can't really pull it off with me and be like, oh, she can't give me excuses like, oh, I don't have a car. I can't get a ride to this because I've had my license suspended like 3 or 4 times. No DUIs ever. Just actually that Mitsubishi Eclipse, when I was 16, I crashed it. Yeah. And then the cop gave me 2 years supervision, which was just like a long time. Especially for a first-time accident person.
Do you have an officer or something you got to check in with? What does supervision mean?
If you get something else within that supervision, like another ticket.
You mean probation?
No, it's called supervision.
It's called supervision.
It's called supervision. Huh. So yeah, if you get a ticket, but if you get something else within that time, then I don't know. Then
you double up.
So then I would always get these tickets, and my license gets suspended, right? So I would get to school, it took me like 2.5 hours to get to school. I used to go to this community college, so it was like 3 buses I would take. So my sister says something like, "Oh, I don't have a ride to go do this or go do that." It's like, bitch, take the bus. You're talking to the wrong person. Like I used to, not be that old guy, but it would take me 2.5 hours to get to fucking community college.
Both ways uphill.
Like 3 buses. Yeah, exactly.
Both in the snow.
Like in the snow. So I was like, that shit doesn't fly with me. With Carlin. So Carlin was one of Carlin and Chris Rock growing up were one of my two, because we had a black box, for free cable, and so it was like, so I'd watch HBO all the time. So it was Carlin,
And Rock was on there. Some Murphy's on there too, I'm sure.
No,
was Murphy never in HBO?
No, that I don't remember. Because growing up, it was Carlin, a lot of Carlin. So my inspirations were Carlin as a kid, Chris Rock, Bring the Pain, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and then all these comics that were on Comedy Central, because we had Comedy Central like on Premium Blend and things like that. So all these other, like Laura Keitler and people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess Katz, because I didn't realize Katz was a comic. Did you ever watch Dr. Katz?
No.
Which had Louis, I think it was Louis Katz, and they were all like drawn off, but they were like not fuzzy. They were wavy little cartoon on Comedy Central. And he was the therapist, but the people he had on were just other comics.
Gotcha.
Like what's that old guy that is Dom Herrera?
Yeah.
He was on there all the time. He had Dom Herrera and a bunch of other. I didn't realize there were comics that I'm watching. So he's just talking to other comics, and they're kind of doing some of their bits.
Louis Katz that did this?
I'm pretty sure it was one of the Cats. Yeah, it was called Dr. Katz, not Medicine Woman. Fuck.
I can't help you. I didn't have cable as a kid. Yeah, straight up.
No, well we got the black box.
You figured it out.
My dad bought a black box, so yeah, I remember I used to like watch porn, and then but I didn't. That's before I learned about masturbation, so I would just watch it. I didn't know what to do, so I was watching,
trying to figure out what the hell they're doing.
Porn. I would just be watching porn and George Carlin is what I would watch.
There's the mix. But yeah, man, I mean, it was Carlin at first, but then when I actually started like really getting into comedy, it was the big three were Maron, Rogan, and Burr. Were the three that like I actually try to emulate.
Wait, did you say Maron? Oh, Mark Maron.
Yeah, Mark Maron. Just being from Seattle, you have to be a Mark Maron fan because that's like what most male comics in Seattle sound like is Mark Maron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very political,
very
angsty.
Very angsty, and very just like self, like over analyzing yourself.
Okay.
And being really hard on yourself. Because if you're anything but hard on yourself in the Seattle scene, then you're a piece of shit. How dare you, as a white fella, try to like dictate anything except for why you suck?
Yeah.
You know. So him, and then Rogan and Burr, just because they're angry.
Yeah.
And when it came to Rogan, it wasn't even like, I'll be honest, Rogan post podcast specials, not a fan of them. But you watch Joe Rogan live. That was like one of the first specials I watched where I got real inspired. Okay. You ever seen that one? It's 2006.
I think I've seen Monkeys. I saw Triggered.
Flying Monkeys in Outer Space.
I see him live. I saw him live in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But Joe Rogan, I don't know. Is that the one?
It's on and
I've
off
seen
Netflix
some of those
sometimes.
Clips.
And Joe, it's one where he's got the backwards newspaper boy cap. And he's got the white shirt.
Does he have the wolf clip? Not the wolf clip, where there's a chick.
Like, yes, the wolf. Yeah, the wolf clip's on there.
The chick is breaking up. Like I've seen clips from that. I've never seen. Yeah.
Come on. Are you alone? I'm like a mile from your house.
Yeah, dude, that's great.
I just need a friend. Of course, I'll be your friend. Yeah, your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on there. He's got the one about, like, if you told the story of Noah's Ark to an 8-year-old retarded boy, he'd have some questions.
He's like
why? It's like, where did all the black people come from? Like, what did the animals eat? Because animals like to eat other animals.
Yeah.
Because he used to yell, and I like guys that actually, in fact, it kind of connects what I'm doing this weekend. Opening for Orny. The guys that yell,
Orny.
I love.
About that.
But Rogan, since the podcast, because he's talking to his, inspirational people, I think he's become too much of he thinks he's a sage. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, just be the dumb frat bro you are. Be more of what your voice actually is. And his new stuff is just kind of too preachy for me.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a little, I don't know.
He used to be funny. Rocky Mountain High and before were like funny first. Post podcast, he's more trying to like be a figure.
Yeah,
still funny, but I'm not nearly as inspired by it.
I listen to more of the podcast than I would watch
his own stand up now.
The stand up,
yeah, absolutely,
for sure. Like I'd rather listen to him on the podcast. Did you see Comedian?
I did.
That documentary.
It's got Jerry's like the success story, then Orny's. They portray Orny very poorly in that documentary. Because what they don't tell you in that documentary is he wasn't failing in that documentary. While the documentary is going on, Orny was selling out rooms across the country. But like, he's having a tough time. No, he wasn't. Yes, his TV pilots didn't get picked up. Oh no, he was touring across the country and everyone loved him.
Look, people don't know. So Comedian was a documentary following Jerry Seinfeld getting back into comedy after the Seinfeld show. The Seinfeld show. Seinfeld.
After Seinfeld,
and then Orny was an up and coming, New York comic.
Yeah.
And then why I watched it? I think Jesselnick brought it up on a podcast, and I heard, and I was like, Comedian, like, that was on my radar. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and it was one of the things that he saw, and I think it inspired Jeselnik or something to start comedy or something like. So I watched it, and I was like, I've seen that probably like maybe 9 times, but it's the same. It has, the one I've watched has been on YouTube, which is the same. I don't know. It's in subtitles in some weird language. I don't know, but that's the same one I watched. Like, I don't know. Or that one, the one with the Boston comics, and then the iComic one. I've watched a bunch. I don't know if you've seen the iComic one.
I think I have. I know. I think Brian Morton just posted the link to the Boston one. I'll go check that out.
I've seen that one a few times, but that's with the Ding Ho and all the Boston comics.
Yeah.
But
I'm very interested in that era. Orny's another one of them.
Yeah.
Imagine all the people that came out of that. The late 80s Boston. Good Lord. Marin, Patrice, Rogan, Burr, Orny. I'm probably missing, another a half dozen more. Richard Lewis.
Yeah.
Nuts. The amount of just freaking Carlin came out of Boston.
Oh, he
everyone,
did?
Yeah, everyone came out of Boston.
Oh, yeah. And then they went to New York. But
yes, they'll go to New York eventually. But all those fuckers started in Boston.
In comedian, I remember Orny. He had. It was cool to watch it now because he had all VHS tapes. So he had all these VHS tapes of himself that he would watch.
Yep.
Like, so he had and he had them all organized, and he would watch. I don't know. It's just cool for me to see. I don't know, VHS tapes again and things like that. Yeah. I want to see it again. I haven't seen it. So you hosted for Orrin the whole weekend?
It's the whole weekend, and we've been.
Who was a feature? He had his own feature. Was it a local?
Yeah, a guy named Tony. I'm gonna mess the name up again. Actually, I'm gonna get it real quick.
Yeah.
On frickin' Friday, I forgot his name, and I go up there and I'm like, "You guys ready for your feature?" They get a big clap, and I'm just using the clap to try to remember the guy's last name. And I said, "Fuck it, here, come see Tony Shalhoub," which is not his last name at all. And he comes up and I'm like, "I'm sorry, man." He's like, "It's fine," but like I didn't. It's a Casillas. It's a Italian name. Tony Casillas. He's a Dallas kid. And he opened, he emceed for Orny at the Addison Improv, and Orny liked him, so he's been on the road with them for like 3 months.
Okay.
It's been very interesting. I was just out this afternoon. We were helping Orny close shop, and then went to lunch with him. And it's been a very odd weekend.
That's
seeing that dynamic between 26-year-old, happy to be there, Tony, and then 49-year-old. He's thing about Orny is
where does he live?
Huh?
Where does he live?
Tony, he lives in Dallas.
Okay.
We drove here and back.
What about Orny? No, Orny. Where does Orny live?
Orny's in LA.
Island's LA? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Orny's LA. So what was I? Just the dynamic of watching those two is funny because Orny is the thing about Orny is his character on stage. A lot of these angry guys, like you look for like Burr, for example. You watch him go up there and yell and be nuts, but then you'll see him out and about. He's much more reasonable. Right?
Even Chris Rock. He doesn't talk like that.
Yelling, but then he comes down, he's just talking like a... Orny is not like that. What you see on stage is exactly what Orny is like.
Oh, so he's at the restaurant?
Yeah, dude. I would perpetually...
What's with this muffin? Or,
yes.
Yeah.
I am perpetually, truly, belly laughing, but holding it because I don't want to, insult him too bad. Because everything he says is freaking hilarious because he doesn't give a fuck, dude. He's just he causes shit about everything. It's funny.
So everything...
But one thing I will say why I appreciate him is, believe me, he complains about everything, but you can tell the way he acts that he's very aware of it. He's aware of, kind of the neurotic person that he is. People that aren't aware of it, I have trouble with. They don't have the self-awareness to understand there being a problem, or he knows it, which in itself I think is very endearing. For example, he'll say something, then immediately go, sorry about that. Sorry about that. His reflex of doing something and then apologizing for it is like that.
Wow.
He knows what he's doing in real time. Yeah,
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
It's
human. And one thing I said too is if that's what it takes for him to do that on stage, then fucking go ahead. Because I'm not kissing his ass because I've been hosting for him. Dude, he's been fucking murdering. He got a standing O for both shows yesterday. Standing O.
Yeah, I've been meaning. I saw him. I was driving back from somewhere the other day, and I saw him. And I saw him on the billboard. It's like fucking Orny. It's like, and I've been seeing him since then. Who else have you? Who'd you host for? Brett Ernst.
And then Ian Bagg for one show.
Okay.
But this is my second full weekend. But I also did one night with Ian Bagg.
Okay. How are those shows? Do you have any shows? Were there any any shitty people? Not shitty people. Any issues you had with any? Any people at the Improv? Yeah,
I mean the story that I tell where I messed up. My biggest mistake. One of the scariest nights of comedy I've ever had. This was the second show I ever hosted there. or the third show technically, because one with Ian Bagg, and then my first full weekend with Brett. Thursday, did good, just fine. Friday, first show. I did my set, my hostings, 10-minute set. Then, just out of a reflex, I got stoned. I took my pen, I got stoned. I don't get high on stage.
Nah.
But, I'm used to the level that I'm at. I do my 10 minutes, and I'm done. I had totally forgotten that you have to do a whole nother show and do all the other... There's so much more work to be done after that 10 minutes. Yeah. So now I'm like, shit. Now I'm stoned. I've got to do all this. Got to focus up. Well, closing announcement comes around. Hey, everyone have a good time? Like, yeah, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, the Chicago Laugh Factory. And the room is dead silent. This is at the Improv.
The Schaumburg Improv.
It's at the Schaumburg Improv. Chicago Improv. And the whole room is silent.
Their main competition, basically. Yeah.
And they knew, the whole audience knew I fucked up. And you hear one lady in the back just go, fired. Like shit. And I kind of recovered. I go like, totally forget about that. Delete those fuckers right away. Follow Chicago Improv. But it was too late. Where the GM was like, that's the first time I've ever seen one do that in 14 years. She was pissed at me. I was freaking out and I thought I was going to lose my goddamn job. Sitting in the green room. I still have the second show to go, which is the late Friday show, the hardest show to do. And I'm in a mess. I'm stoned. I just fucked up. And then all of a sudden, Brett Ernst comes in with his cell phone on his ear. And he goes up and he's like talking to somebody. And he goes, hey man, I've been talking with Tony on the phone. He heard about what happened. He asked me to walk you out. Like, you're done. And I was like, you're fucking around with me. He's like, nah, man. And he did this back and forth with me for like half a minute. And he goes, I'm fucking with you. And he gave me like a big hug. He's like, yeah, it's all right. You're fine. And then I did the second show. But for a solid second, I thought I was done.
You see, that happened. Well, I got stoned once on accident on the way to a mic. Yeah. Like, I hit a pen and I hit it way too hard. And by the time, I thought I was going to wear off. And by the time I got there, that shit, like, it hit me. And I was just pacing back and forth. I was like, fuck, because I don't smoke a lot, really. You know what I mean? I'm not a big smoker. And I was like, fuck, I'm way too high. And that actually helped me because it slowed me down. Cause sometimes a little bit too much all over the place. So then I started taking little hits before, like mics or maybe not a show, but before. Actually, I just started taking little hits, and it was helping me out. Except for one time, I took a hit that was too big, and I was on stage, and then I did a joke, didn't go well, and I was like,
get self-conscious and in your head way more.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that didn't go well. I was like, all right, let me go to a older joke, get him back, and then go back to what I was doing. When did the older joke that's supposed to just work automatically, that didn't work, and I'm sure I fucked it up, and I was just like, and at that point,
and you're stoned, so you don't even know where you fucked up because your memory's so fucked.
I was like, what's going on? And I remember I'm looking at the audience, and usually if I fuck up like that, if I do a joke where people are supposed to laugh and they don't, I'm almost like, really? You guys didn't laugh? Like, in my head, I was like, I almost think it's funny to me. Like, the fuck did I do? Or what's going on here? But no, I'm just like, I can't. And it was just like, and I just finished my set, and I was like a deer in headlights. And then after that, it was like, no more. Yeah, I can't do. The only thing I would do before a set is caffeine. I think just caffeine or maybe some type of nicotine.
Yeah,
nicotine. Like when I did that one, is a girl came who's never seen me. A girl I was trying to talk to who saw me here at the LOL at some show I did, and then I was still on that Molly meth, and I was like on no sleep or 2 hours of sleep because I took it the night before. Like,
and you're running down, so your brain power's out of nothing.
Yeah, and I'm just like trying to keep my composure. But when I got there, Luis looked at me. He's like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" I was like, "Dude, I'm fucking high." I'm basically on meth right now. And I told him, and that was I don't know, that the one in Iowa, that one. I'm trying to think. There's another. The worst shows I have were actually, I think, in Indiana, where when I was there, somebody went up to me in the middle of my set and said, basically the owner was drunk and yelling at all the comics. The owner of the bar was yelling at all of us and heckling us. Yeah. And then someone up on stage, and I started making fun of the owner. One of his friend came up, this big, fat, burly guy. He goes to me on stage when I'm performing. And he's like, you say one more thing about him, I'm going to punch you in the face. But then I address the other people, and I tell them, like, hey, he said he's going to punch me in the face. And they all start, like, they're like, no. They start yelling at him. And two bartenders quit that night. Like, we're in the middle of our set, and I hear one of the bartenders yell at the dude, fuck you blah, blah, blah. And then she runs out on him, and it was a smoking bar. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, man. I don't know. Indiana, I don't know. People seem angry in Indiana. Wisconsin, I haven't had any issues. Illinois is iffy, but Indiana, I don't know if you performed a lot over there.
No. I haven't really messed too much out of state yet.
No?
I just now got 2 really sweet clips. I might start doing it. My clip game has been, my social media game in general has been like super weak because I'm so self-conscious about sharing stuff because I think nothing I say is important.
Yeah.
But you need to do that to get any kind of work outside of, the initial,
Get your followers
the immediate networking circle you've created. But now that I've got clips, I'll be sending stuff around. I got a nice clip from the 2 shows last night at the Improv, and I did a show at the Comedy Shrine last week.
You had somebody record you, or you just put your...
The professional system, it's professionally shot from like the camera systems of the club, and it's like 2 sold out shows. Did well, so that should hopefully give me some road work.
And they have the audio hooked up to the mixer type of thing?
Yep.
Oh, perfect,
yeah, it's done.
dude.
It's perfectly. It's very professionally shot.
Oh, that's nice, dude. I need to get something like... Because
before that, my clip was me at Tuesday at the Laugh Factory with a cell phone perched on a fucking beer menu in the back row. That was my tape until now.
And then that's the only audio? The one from the phone?
And like I'm doing good, but you can't hear like half the fucking shit I'm saying because the audio is so terrible. And you can barely see me. It's just a horrible tape. So I felt self-conscious sending it to anybody.
Yeah, right now I have a clip and I'm sending it to, but I purposely don't look at it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's a few people I want to message. I was like, let me review the clip. And I was like, I'm not even gonna look at it. So
please don't. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and the first one I had was like an audio clip or so. I didn't even have a video clip. So, but that's all I had. All right. We're running low on time here.
Yeah.
What's
the time we got here?
Plug the podcast.
Yeah.
So when
so it'll be beginning of February. It's going to be called Space Cadets.
With a C or K? Kampp was
Kampp
K, right?
KMPP. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Space Cadets is the new name of the podcast.
Is Cadets going to be with a C or K?
No, with a C. With a C.
All right. I thought they were going to keep in the K.
That's an interesting idea. It's an inside joke of the show of why it's called Space Cadets. So tune in to figure out why. It is a very irreverent and not okay thing. So if you listen to the show, you'll figure out why it's called Space Cadets.
A Space Cadet is a person that's...
That's what?
Like out of it, right?
Out of it? What do you mean by out of it?
Like, she's a space cadet. Like, she's a bimbo. She's out of it. Right? Isn't that?
That's actually very similar to what it is. Is that common phrasing?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure that's what...
Yeah, we thought we made up...
She's a space cadet. Like, I've heard...
She's a space case,
I feel
space
like
cadet.
Yes, but I feel like I've heard like DePaulo say something like that, like space cadet. I've heard the term. I think that's me. Like, she's a bimbo out of it, like not all there.
Yeah, it's essentially what it is. Okay. Right on. There you go.
Okay, all right. So space cadets.
But and like I said, it's basically we're trying to slowly from the ground up build like the Opie and Anthony / Legion of Skanks of Chicago, where it's just our humor is put towards dudes 18 to 49.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we just talk current events and news stories, and we bring on a constant rotation of the funniest people that me and Eric know, and we just fucking riff it out, man. And we've had some really good episodes so far. We'll also be doing kind of radio type sketches and skits to like get our name out there, whether it be shocking stuff or just like things that can go viral. For example, we will be at Exotica in April. You know what Exotica is?
I haven't gone, but it's a sex convention they have here for 3 days.
Yeah, it's a big porn convention.
I want to go with a chick though.
We got press passes for that shit. It's gonna be nice.
Oh, okay.
And I know this is all when we put out the video, you'll see who it is. But I'm actually decent friends with a relatively famous porn star, so she's going to get us into some shit. And
oh, really? You can't say her name? Yeah.
Call it we're trying. That's creating suspense, sir.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah.
And then so we'll be launching Space Cadets beginning of February, and then my show Laughing Grass will be. We were supposed to have our debut in January, but the theater wasn't ready yet. So February 15th, Lincoln Lodge in Logan Square. It's a weed show called Laughing Grass, where I book 4 comics. They go up and do 12 minutes apiece. Then they get stoned as fuck with me backstage and come back out to do 8 minutes of stand up.
Oh, okay. I like that.
It's a fun show.
Concept.
Yeah, man. And then that's that. I'm about to go freaking host for Orny again in about 30 minutes.
And what's your social media?
It is just Alex Kampp on Facebook, and then Alex Kampp, one word, KMPP on Instagram.
On Instagram, okay. And then I'm Lobo9110, which is LOBO9110 on, I think, everything.
Is that a zip code?
No, it was when I was a kid. I had AOL dial-up internet or something, and I put Lobo. My dad's name is Lobo, his nickname. Mm-hmm. And then I got a dog we named. It's a whole fucking thing.
Sure.
Yeah, and then it's tattooed on my back, too. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like Lobo was taken, and there was like, what about this? And there was a suggestion. Lobo's not taken, like automatic generated suggestion. What about Lobo 9110? That one's not taken. So I just clicked on it. And I've just used it. I mean, I hope if you look up my name, Giovanni, Jhovany, and I have that, I'll speak because my parents are Mexican. They know how to spell, so they sound out phonetically in the hospital, like Giovanni. So that's why I have such a weird. Like if you meet Jennies with a Y who are Mexican, it's because their parents basically were beaners and know how to spell it. So they're like Yenny, and they're saying it with a Y in their head instead of the J. So you know Yennies who are Hispanic, that's what it is.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I get it.
There's a few of us with these weird spelling names because the parents couldn't spell.
Yeah.
So my name is spelled wrong. And then the Lobo podcast. Oh, I have a YouTube. I'm gonna put this up.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I'm a one-man show, so little by little, I'm building shit up.
Me and Eric are figuring it out too. You can only figure it out by doing. Fuck school.
Yeah.
Fuck radio school. Fuck broadcast school. Just fucking create something and learn as you go.
Yeah, figure it out. So, all right, man. Thanks for being on Lobo.
Absolutely.
Lobo,